Alright, let's talk about Kyedae and TenZ. And before anybody tries to turn this into some tea video, I'm not doing that. I'm not here to farm hate, I'm not here to send people to anyone's mentions, and I'm not here to pretend I have front row seats to someone else's relationship. I'm here because the internet is loud right now, and I feel like the loudest people are also the least careful with what they say. So if you're here for a villain, if you're here to pick a side, or if you're here because you want me to call somebody names, you're gonna be disappointed. Now, what we actually know publicly from them is simple. They said they've been separated for a while, it was mutual, and they basically said we grew apart. They said there was no wrongdoing and no single event. That's the message we know, right? And I know, the internet hears that and goes, no, that's not enough. Give me the secret reason, give me the plot twist. But here is my take as someone who, watches patterns in people for a living, or at least I talk like I do on YouTube. When two people get together young, like really young, and they grew up together in public, their relationship becomes more than a relationship. It becomes a brand, it becomes a routine, it becomes a comfort blanket, it becomes a business sometimes, it becomes an identity. And when you live like that, it's not just boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like we are a unit. You move together, you work together, you build together, you spend years doing everything together. And at first, that feels romantic. It feels like, wow, you find your person, you're locked in. But after a while, that same closeness can turn into something else. But eventually, if you don't have space to be two separate people, you start to lose yourself. Or you realize you don't even know who you are outside of that relationship. And that is terrifying, especially when you're still, becoming an adult. People forget this part, so let me say it clearly. They didn't meet at 25, 30 with fully formed brains and fully formed values and fully formed boundaries. They basically grew from teenagers into adults together. That is beautiful, but it's also complicated. And that's why when I hear we grew apart, I don't automatically hear somebody did something evil. Sometimes we do grow apart. Literally means we hit a point where we're not evolving the same way anymore. It means one person is changing faster or slower or in a different direction. It means the relationship started to feel like a loop. It means love can still exist, but compatibility is fading. Now, let's address the thing everybody wants to scream about, the cheating rumor. People are saying she cheated with John, people are making timelines, posting screenshots, twisting photos, the whole CSI, Twitch streamer edition. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not buying it. Not because I'm naive, not because I think cheating never happens, it happens all the time. I'm not buying it, because why would TenZ literally come out and shut that down publicly? He could be not trying to destroy her reputation, etc. Could be, I don't know, honestly. But the narratives, he's saying that those are disgusting, detached from reality, etc. John is a friend, whatever. If a person would be the most directly affected by this is saying stop pushing this, then who are you to look at a random thread and go, no, actually I know better than you know about your own goddamn life? Cheating rumor, I think it gives people a clean storyline, it gives them a villain, gives them a reason to unleash all the anger with a moral excuse on somebody, It lets people feel like, oh, I'm defending him and I'm exposing her, But most of the time, what you're really doing is projecting, taking your own trauma, your own fears, own insecurities, and you're passing it into other people that you don't have no business going into their own life. But still, it's your business because they made it our and your business. Now, even if in some alternate universe or this universe, cheating did happen, that still should not be the main thing we're talking about. Okay? Like we're the judge and jury of a relationship we never were inside. And before someone clips that, let me be very clear. Cheating is painful. It's wrong. It can wreck a person's confidence. It can mess with your trust for years. But obsessing about did she or didn't she is not about morality. It's about entertainment on the internet. It's about people wanting a scandal because we grew apart. Sounds boring. And that's the part that I hate, because if you actually care about either people, you wouldn't turn their breakup into a spectator sport. You would respect that, they shared years, shared a home, shared milestones, shared a life, and still they reached a point where they realized they're not good for each other. That's not evil, that's life, okay? Now let's talk about the deeper questions that matter to me, and that actually matter more than rumors. Did she fall out of love? Maybe. Was she bored? Maybe. Was it ever love or was it the hype of first love? Maybe yes, maybe no. And I know that sounds harsh, but listen. When you're young, love can be real and still be incomplete. It can be intense and still can be confused. A lot of people confuse chemistry with compatibility. A lot of people confuse the excitement of being chosen with the reality of building a life. And a lot of people confuse we are obsessed with each other with we are actually healthy. And you know what's funny? If you're watching this and you're like 25, 30, and even 20, you probably remember your first love. You remember how it felt like the world was ended when it didn't work out. And then you look back years later and you're like, I was completely different. I was doing too much. I didn't even know who I was yet. And that was not the right person for me, most likely. And that doesn't make the love fake. It just means you were, well, growing. And that's why the situation makes me far more sad than angry because they didn't just date, they grew up in front of all of us. And when you grow up in public, people feel entitled to your private reasons. Now I also want to address something else people keep doing and it's gross. People keep trying to measure sacrifices. If they did this for them, they gave up that, he quit this, she owes him, he carried her, she used him. Stop. Relationships are not a transaction ledger. And TenZ himself said he stepped away from pro play because of his own goals changing, not because she forced him. It's important because, well, we just love to turn it into he gave up everything for her, so now she's the villain. Not how the real adult relationship works. Maybe it did. You never know. These kind of things happen. But sometimes someone changes careers. Someone is burnt out. Someone wants stability. Someone doesn't want the same lifestyle anymore. Maybe him being engaged to her, him being with her was a reason. Maybe. But, you know. And yes, sometimes one person loves harder than the other one. That happens too. And I actually believe that in most relationships at different times, one person is more attached. One person is more invested, one person is more scared of losing it. And when a breakup happens, the person who loved harder looks like the victim to the public, even if nobody did anything wrong. So when I see people saying, look at him, he's the heartbroken, so she must be evil, I'm like, that's not proof, that's just emotion. And emotion is real, but it doesn't automatically equal wrongdoing. Also, the way some people are insulting TenZ in the process is so low. Jim comments masculinity, he's not enough of a man. The body comments the weird alpha talk. That is brain rot, brother. Relationship does not end because somebody didn't hit legs on a Thursday. Relationship ends because the emotional connection changes. The needs change. The communication breaks down. The visions don't match. The timing shifts, or both people realize they're not becoming their best selves together anymore. That's why adults say we grew apart. Now, here's the part I want everyone to sit with. They were together for years, they lived together, they built their lives around each other, their community watched it, their content was intertwined, and their identities were intertwined as well. That is not nothing. When it ends, it's gonna become messy, emotionally, even if it's peaceful on paper. You can break up mutually, but still cry yourself to sleep. You can break up with love and still feel rejected. You can break up as friends and still feel like your chest is caving in. Both can be true. And that's why I don't want people turning this into hate campaigns, because you don't know what conversations they had at 2 a.m. You don't know what they try to fix. You don't know what they tolerated quickly. You don't know what they didn't say to protect each other. You don't know the things they carried. All you know is what you saw on social media. Social media is the highlight reel. So my personal stance is this. I'm taking them at their word. I don't believe the cheating rumor, and even if there was something messy behind the scenes, the internet is not entitled to it. What I do believe is that growing up together that young, that publicly is a lot. And it sucks. It sucks for both of them. It sucks for TenZ because when you're the one people perceive as the one who loved more, you get pity publicly, and that's not always healing. Sometimes pity is just another spotlight you didn't ask for. And it sucks for Kyedae because the internet is always quicker to punish the woman. People will create narratives and they'll treat them like facts. And they'll justify harassment like it's justice. And none of that is love. None of that is support. That's just mob behavior. So if you're watching this, here's what I want you to do. Truly respect them. Stop sharing theories. Stop sharing cropped screenshots. Connecting dots like you're solving a goddamn murder mystery. Like it's whatever, a show. Stop tagging them in accusations and stop DMing them like you're part of a relationship. Let people be human. Let them grieve privately. Let them, move on without your timeline trying to rewrite the history. Because the most mature thing people can do is accept that sometimes the truth is really simple. They grew apart, that's it. I wish them both peace. I wish them both privacy. I hope they both come out of this healthier, clearer, and surrounded by real support. not internet noise. The internet is just, it is what it is. If you've ever been through a breakup where people demanding an explanation, you already know how exhausting that is. So don't be the exhausting person for someone else. If you made it this far, drop a comment. Let's talk. And yeah, subscribe if you want more discussions like this where we actually talk like adults. I'll see you in the next one. This was Brainy.